In this episode, Golden and I discuss the sci-fi original series Resident Alien, Season 1. Full speed ahead.
The Omega Beam. Full power. The Omega Beam.
Welcome to the Omega Beam number 122. I'm your host, Oren Merton. Like most fans of science fiction, we're fans of Alan Tudyk. We'd seen online that he was starring in a new series airing on the SyFy network here in the USA and streaming on the SyFy or Peacock's app, so we decided to give it a shot. As with most of our TV discussions, we keep this one to the basic information that you can gather from the trailer, so let's go! I am here with Golden to talk about the sci-fi TV series Resident Alien, Season 1. So this was one that I think we pretty much decided to watch just because we love Alan Tudyk.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, we had heard about Doom Patrol. And we decided to go ahead and watch Doom Patrol. And the first season was absolutely awesome. And part of that was Alan Tudyk. And we tuned in to see the season finale of Resident Alien the other day, and right before it on Sci-Fi was the end of I, Robot, which was Alan Tudyk's being a robot, before being a robot in Rogue One. And so I'm like, oh look, we're going from Alan Tudyk to Alan Tudyk. And then during Resident Alien, we saw an advertisement for The Devil May Care. I'm like, wow, they're just doing like an Alan Tudyk marathon.
That's right.
I, Robot, Resident Alien, then Devil May Care. So, I mean, I think you just put any Alan Tudyk in anything and it just makes it better.
He is, I think, incredibly funny. And also, he's just a good actor in general, but I think he's just got great comedic timing. And Resident Alien, I think, is one of those shows. I'm keeping it relatively spoiler-free, so I'm not going to give any details, but it's one of those shows where the premise is funny.
And do not skip the intro.
Right.
Look at the intro. The intro changes each time to add flavor to the episode.
They do. I didn't catch it at first. You had to point it out to me. But yeah, the title sequence, they change the images they show based on what's going to happen in that episode, which is, I think, pretty neat. And the premise is interesting. I mean, an alien crash lands on Earth.
Well,
and
the alien's coming here to destroy all the humans.
Right.
His ship crashes, so he needs to figure out how to get his ship, and he lost the item that he needs to use to kill everyone.
Right. And then, of course, he needs to blend in,
yeah.
So he becomes Alan Tudyk. Because why wouldn't you, really?
Harry Vanderspiegel.
Right.
Who is a doctor, who all of a sudden the town needs a doctor because their doctor has died.
Yep, this is all the first episode. And it kind of takes the traditional fish out of water and kind of turns it a little bit on its head and just has fun with it. And it's done really well. It's done really, really well. And it's both funny, but at the same time creates three-dimensional townspeople in the tiny town of Patience, Colorado, that you end up caring about their stories.
And it's whether or not the alien really, is he just going to observe, what's going to happen with his mission, but then now he has to deal with people and interacting with these people.
It's one of those things where people I know who don't like science fiction watched this show and told me that they loved it because they found it really funny. And I think that says a lot because obviously it's on the Sci-Fi Channel. This isn't a show that is necessarily even aimed at people who don't like science fiction. But I think it is a story that is just funny. And it's only a 10-episode long season, so it's not a hugely long season. They're all streaming right now.
11 episodes.
Oh, is it 11 episodes? I thought it was 10.
Oh, well, I'm guessing the 11th episode is probably Oh, no, it's only 10.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
10 episodes.
Right. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm like, because it did get renewed.
Right. It's getting a second season, which is very exciting because they definitely left it with somewhere to go. I think that this is a show that really can go in all kinds of directions, retain its humor and retain its heart. So I'm very interested to see where it goes. Also should mention this is based on a limited series comic. So I think there were only like 4 issues of the comic. I never read it. So obviously they're going and doing their own thing. This isn't just a limited series based on the comic.
No, and the characters are very colorful. Very non-PC in terms of the sheriff. Is this big... he comes from a big city. Now he's in a small city, and he tries to get people to call him Big Black because he's a black guy, and the people are like, no, we're not okay with that.
They're like, I'm not sure I'm comfortable calling you that.
And he's just very dismissive of his deputy, and the relationship that develops between him and his deputy was very nicely done.
Right. Yeah, a lot of these relationships, I think, develop really well over the course of 10 episodes. And with still more to grow. There's still more to go. And, there's untied threads that obviously they're going to pick up in second season. There are some elements they wrapped up really nicely.
I love Nurse Eileen. It's like the sheriff is asking her questions, and she's just like, this, and then one of her coworkers comes by, it could be anything, and just backtracking. But if she's just by herself with someone, she's just gonna be very upfront. Just the character of Asta. She's one of the main characters. She works in the clinic with Dr. Vanderspiegel, so she's been there for a very long time. And her troubles and her struggles, and you're learning more about her as the series develops and what she has to go through. And Harry gets to see this, and he doesn't know when to say something and when not to say anything, because he's learned everything from Law and Order on TV.
Well, how else do you learn to speak English and be human but watching TV?
And there is one character, a kid, Max, that can see the alien as the alien. He actually doesn't see the human facade at all.
Right. It's they explain it that there's like 1 in a million, I think they say, people who can see, and this boy can. So that creates interesting and fun dynamic as well.
Well, there's one other character throughout the entire series that can also see Harry as the alien. I'm not going to say it. You have to watch it and find out.
That's right. You have to watch it to find out. So if you're looking for a short series that is really funny, especially if you love Alan Tudyk and especially if you love science fiction, this is the one.
And I think they had fun with the casting, too. Yeah. They have Linda Hamilton in it.
That's right. Sci-fi royalty.
Who's looking for the alien, which is, pretty funny when you think about it. They also have Terry O'Quinn from Lost, who plays an alien hunter. Is that what he called? Or alien tracker?
Alien tracker.
He's the alien tracker. I think they had a lot of fun with some of the casting. And also, definitely. Nathan Fillion makes I don't want to say appearance. Nathan Fillion has a role in it. And I love the relationship between Max and his friend from school.
It's all done very well. I mean, this is a really good show. I would even say if you don't like science fiction, you might find this a fun comedic entry into sort of first encounters type sci-fi.
Yeah, I love the relationship between Max and Sahar, which is his friend from school. She's smart and savvy. And she's fearless.
Yeah. And not that diversity is anything discussed in the series, but this is a pretty diverse cast. They've got Native Americans, they've got Muslims, they've got people of color, obviously white people as well. So they do manage to get some pretty diverse casting going. Asians, yes. Yeah, it's really hard to find anything to criticize about this show. It's just good. It was one of those shows we really
honestly,
looked forward to.
At this point, I think Alan Tudyk's not really human. I think he's just an alien anyway. And he has fun with it too. If you go back and look at his Twitter feeds and things, you can tell that he's having fun. If you are just looking you want to sit and chill and just laugh, this is a good series to go to.
Like I said, when I watch these shows, I tend to look up their Rotten Tomatoes afterwards just because I'm curious to know what the other critics had to say. And this has a 93% aggregate score on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's more than 9 out of 10 critics. I just really enjoyed this show, and I get it. I don't know who that one was, but I get it. It's just fun and funny. I mean, there really is very, very little to criticize in this. I mean, I guess you could criticize that there's only 10 episodes because it's so good you want to watch more, but I really don't know what you would criticize on this.
It moves really well. Each episode leaves you wanting for more. It's a fun series, and it's humorous.
Well, thank you, Golden.
You're welcome.
And that's it for this episode. You can find the show notes at theomegabeam.com/122. If you liked this episode, please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. It's those reviews that help people who like this stuff find our podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop us a line at info@theomegabeam.com. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.
The Omega Beam. The Omega Beam. Full stop.